Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson, you're watching Nature Nell, and if you just stopped by, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for hitting that subscribe button. It helps my channel grow immensely and I can bring you guys more and more great episodes like my favorite all-time episodes, What's in Bloom. Now, I just finished filming my haul, so if you haven't seen it, please go back and see it. It was from the Redland International Orchid Show and Festival, and I gotta tell you, it was an experience. I won second place on my first entry. There's so much to look at in those episodes that you don't want to miss them. I am super happy about the way they turned out, and even happier at the experience that I had while I was filming them. So today, it's my favorite. I'm going to show you guys what's blooming back there because there's a lot of things that are blooming and I don't want to miss out before the flowers start dying out. So anyways, no more chatty. Without further ado, let's go look at some blooms. All right, my fellow orchid lovers, let's start where we always start. Now, I just did a haul, so a lot of these you've already seen, but I'm going to start with this one. This is my Cattleya walkeriana. I got this at Krull-Smith about a year ago, and I have been anticipating this beautiful orchid to open for a long time. I was like, is this ever going to bloom? Because when it's not blooming, it's just a couple of leaves on a cork, so it doesn't really look like much, but then the flower is just so beautiful. Now, I did ask the boys over at Krull-Smith, when it opened, it had some blush around the leaves, and it did get a little bit of insect nick. I call that insect nick. That's usually an insect or something that bites into the bud before it opens. And they told me this was perfectly normal. I was like, is that a virus? He's like, no, that the blush on the petals does happen sometimes, especially on the walkeriana. So let me see. I want to show you the tag. This way it saves me from too much editing. So that's the actual tag. And it is a species, and I believe this was from Frank Smith personal collection that he had several that he wanted to get rid of. I think that's, if I'm saying this correctly, please don't quote me, but I think that's exactly what it was. And I just had to have one of these. Now they do come in different colors, but I decided to pick the white and pink only because of the contrast. I love the color combination on this and this fragrance. Oh my God, the fragrance is just to die for. It's very floral. It has a spicy, almost like a spicy background to the fragrance. But look how beautiful that is. I love this flower. It has such a unique shape on the lip. And sometimes you see that type of lip on a lot of orchids that have been hybridized. It's a trademark of the walkeriana. And I do want to get other ones. I want to get the other colors because they have some beautiful colors out there. Now, I want to go way up here to show you who's back in bloom. This is another species. This is a Phalaenopsis lindinii. I do have, there we go. I do have a tag. I keep my tags on the back when I mount them. And this is a beautiful species that has a wonderful fragrance. Some people are not crazy about it. It's almost like a soapy fragrance. Some people call it like a detergent fragrance. It smells to me like floral with like liquid soap, like palm olive or something like that, but in a good way, a very light hint of it. And it's such a beautiful flower. I mean, look at the details in it. And it's very tiny. I mean, let's see. Look at that. Very tiny flower. And this was a keiki that I got from the mother plant. Unfortunately, the mother plant just died off. I don't know what happened. I tried everything. I did have her in a pot. When I bought her, she came in a pot. And I've told you guys before, when you buy your orchids, please learn your environment really well. because the way that they grow them in the nurseries may be very different than the way that you grow them. And if that nursery is not accustomed to extremely high humidities the way it is here in Miami, Florida, especially South Florida where I live, you may be over, which is what I think happened, overwatering, or the moisture is just too much. So I decided to take the keiki and put it on a cork, and it's doing wonderful. So I'm very happy with that. Now I also have shown you this, my Phalaenopsis pulcherrima pink, and she gave me 2 spikes. And now this one is already starting to bloom, and I love this flower. It lasts for a very long time. It's a long-lasting bloom. So if you guys want an orchid that the bloom lasts for weeks and weeks, try to get a Phalaenopsis doridus. They have different colors, and they usually have the same shape. Some are smaller, some are larger. This is one of the larger flowers, but it just lasts. And what happens is they'll start dropping from the back here, and the front continues blooming until there's no more, and then it just the spike will just dry out. But please do not cut the spike until you see it yellow, because you may get another subshoot from that spike. It's happened to me before. Now down here we have a Bellina fire shape. I just featured her in my haul, and she's one of the newbies in my greenhouse. I got her from, let me show the spike. Here's the name. And I got it from Xinhua Orchids, which they are always at the big shows. I love their booth. I always try to stop by because they have amazing prices. I paid only $20. Yeah, it was $20 per Bellina. I mean, that's unheard of. Bellinas are never $12. I'm sorry, not $12, $20. And I bought 2 of them, and I decided to plant them in this little wood basket, just like I have my other Bellina red apple, so that way they kind of mimic each other and they look good together. And it smells very good, by the way. Now below is this beauty from Krull-Smith. It's called a Doris Dukes Yellowbird. It's Krull-Smith's yellow version. I don't know why it never wants to focus on this particular tag. There we go. And it is an AOS winner. And I tell you, when these puppies get big, they bloom a lot. They are wonderful. I'm gonna put a photo in there of the mother plant so you can see how beautiful she is. Julian at Krull-Smith sent me the photo of the mother plant so I can see where it came from. And I just love this flower. Let me go up close and show you the details. I love to show the details because that's where you really see the beauty in each flower. Now, next to it, I also featured recently, so I am going to show you again because it is a beautiful flower. And I got this at a German nursery at the International Orchid Fair for $150. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful Paphiopedilum. It has the colors that I gravitate towards, which is cranberry and yellow. And then it has like sort of freckles, but then it has these beautiful stripes. I just think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous flower. Very pretty. And I immediately potted her in this pot with Orchiata. Some of you asked me what mediums I use. It all depends on the actual orchid. I like to use on Paphiopedilums, I like to use something that drains well, but it also holds moisture because I do water every day. If I didn't water every day, I would use something a little bit more dense like spag moss to keep some of the moisture in there. Now, this one in particular came in spag moss, but I took her out and put her in orchiata. I feel it works way better and it doesn't rot the flower. So if you guys have Paphiopedilums, try putting them in orchiata. If you water every day, try putting them in orchiata. It works very, very well. Now here's one that's constantly blooming for me. This is my Lime Star. I always confuse Lime Star with Lime Sherbet, but I'll put it underneath. And she is very happy this month. She gave me so many flowers. And again, I did put it on my wood mounts that I get from the orchid supply store, which are awesome for the orchids. The orchids do respond to it very well. And I put this puppy up here a couple of months ago. I would say maybe like 6 months ago or less. And it's got roots everywhere. As you can see, it's wrapping around the wood and it looks really established, and it hasn't even been a year yet that she's been on this. But she's gorgeous, and I got her at Soroa about a year and a half ago at the Fairchild Tropical Gardens Orchid Fair. And she was a tiny little thing. If you go back and see it, you'll see how small she was. And once I put her on this wood mount, she bursted out. She's like, yes, I got room to grow. Let's go inside the greenhouse, my friends. Here's where most of my beautiful blooms are. Right to my right, I have this wonderful Tolumnia that has opened up for about a week and a half now, 2 weeks almost. And she's still strong and in living color. Now this is a Bloody Bird Girac. Bloody Bird, I think it's called. Tolumnia Girac Firm Bloody Bird, which I don't like the name at all, but it's a little morbid. But anyway, it is a bloody color. It's a very deep red. It's even deeper in person than in the camera, and the camera gives it a crimson undertone, but this is a very deep velvety red. And this was my very first Tolumnia that I bought from Tang, from Springwater. And if you guys want Tolumnias, give Tang a call. He is the man with the Tolumnias. Tang has so many color and varieties, and I don't know how he does it. They're always in bloom. All year round, he has Tolumnias. And this last show, I wanted to buy some, but I was looking more at bigger pieces. He had so many beautiful colors. And everything that I've gotten from him is constantly in bloom and looking healthy. And that's a sign of a good grower. Like this right here. This was one that I bought from Tang last year at Apopka. And this, hold on, it's called a Sea Breeze. Oh, hold on guys, I don't want to step on anything. I don't know if you can see it there. It's like acrobating. I hope you can see it because I have a leaf in front of me now. I can't see. Well, if it doesn't show after I edit this, I will put it underneath. And it has these beautiful Cattleya flowers that smell so good. The fragrance on I can smell it from here. It is so delicious, such a sweet floral fragrance. And when she blooms in clusters of 4 and 5 buds. Ooh, it's raining, but it's nice. It's too hot outside. And it just gave me this new cluster that's starting to open. It has 5 flowers here and 2 flowers there. All right, nature, you can rain, just don't press on that rain. Because I need to finish this what's in bloom. Now this one, I think I had paid $120 for this big monster. And to tell you the truth, this is what inspired me to put all my Cattleyas on wood mounts. Because I realized how well this Cattleya was doing as opposed to my other ones. And so I ended up putting all my Cattleyas on wood mounts, and voila, they're doing wonderful. Ooh, this rain feels actually very good. Now down here, another one from my haul. Let me get you the name. It's a cross. It's a new cross. And I got this at Florida Suncoast Orchids. And it's a beautiful, beautiful flower. It has a nice fragrance. It's a light floral fragrance. But these tones for me are just the bomb, diggity bomb bomb. This yellow with pink it makes me want to do my happy dance. I wish I can do my dance now when I'm filming. But this and other stuff that I bought, I just want to dance all day, because when I see something like this and I get to own it, I just jump for joy. And this is one of those flowers that I just had to have. And he only had one of them. So for me, it was like a jewel in a sea of orchids. And the gentleman that sold it to me, I can't remember his name now. I'm sorry that I don't remember. It's just so many names that I kid you not, over 100 names I probably picked up this weekend. And he was extremely helpful. He has the most beautiful specimens. All his stuff is unique. A lot of it is very pricey, but so worth every penny of it, because just think about how long it takes to grow a specimen. And I just feel that when you have something that's so many years old, you need to put some value behind that, because there's so much care that involves to grow these orchids. And anything over 10 years, that's a big accomplishment. All right, now here is my beautiful red Ascasenda Ben's Fantasy. I think it's what it is. Let me see. I hate when I put him this high up. I forget to bring him down, because then it's hard for me to read this for you. And then the leaves always somehow, some way, strategically get in the way. I don't know if you can read that. It's a Ascasenda Ben's Fantasy. And it is such a red orchid. The petals are so red. And then it has that beautiful yellow little dot in the center. It's such a nice little accent to this flower. Now this one I don't think has fragrance. I don't think this is a fragrant flower, but it is a beautiful flower nonetheless. And I love the red on it, because it's a pure red. There's no other color contaminating it. And then of course the little yellow center gives it that little pop. And she blooms a lot for me. This is like the third or fourth time it blooms since I've gotten her. It's very windy today. It's windy, humid, hot, and raining. We're experiencing all of the... Here, let me bring this down. I think this is much easier for me to do. There we go. I'm going to put her here. No, that's too high up. There we go. Because if not, you won't see the true color of this orchid. Look at the beautiful tones on this orchid. I always have a hard time trying to film her, because it is a blue color, and it always shows like a deep purple when I film her. But I think now, since it is the morning sun and it's hitting directly on it, it's not so strong. It's really giving me the proper color. This is actually what it looks like as I see it here on the screen. It's slightly more purple than what it is in real life. It's a little more blue. And this is a Bangsai, I think it is. Yeah, Bangsai Star Blue. Vanda Bangsai Star Blue. And I got this beauty, none other than Krull-Smith. And you know how I remember? Because they put those little things on top, those little ribbons. I love that they do that, because I remember where I bought them. A lot of my stuff is from there, because we've gone to their facility several times, and I do a killing over there when I go. But I like that they put that, because that way I could remember. Now, this just opened for me. This was a gift. It has no tag, so if you guys want to go ahead and name this one, it almost even looks like a species to me. Let me see. Yes, you do smell very good. It has a sweet, sweet, sugary smell. And this was a gift from my neighbor. When she moved out, she had her own collection. And she says, I can't take my stuff with me where I'm going, but I know you'll take good care of them. So she gave it to me. And this is like the second time it blooms for me. And it's just a very pretty... I had no idea what the flower was when she first gave it to me. But it's a really pretty, dainty flower. All right. Now see. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I love this flower. It just opened for me. But look at the unique petals on this baby. I got her a while ago, a couple of months ago, at Santini Nursery. And here's the name. Joy Fairy Tale Joy, Phalaenopsis, Joy Fairy Tale Joy. And originally it came from here, because I'm just looking at the tag now. Joseph Wu Orchid. So if you guys want this, maybe give them a call or go online and see if they have more. I got this at Santini. It's close by here. It's a nursery that usually sells a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you find some amazing, amazing orchids there that you may not find anywhere else. And I bought this one because I thought that the petals were so unique. And then the color on this flower is sickening in a good way. It's my avatar Phalaenopsis. It has that avatar fluorescent look, and it's just really, really, really exciting when it opens. And the flowers do last a long time, because when I bought her, she was already in bloom, and the flowers lasted for quite a while. So this one is one of those that if you like long-lasting blooms, get your hands on it. It's one of the smaller Phalaenopsis. The leaves are way, way tinier than your regular Phalaenopsis, but the flower itself is just a beauty. And oh, that fragrance, it's so delicious. Again, the Froot Loop, I don't know what it is about these phals. They tend to have this Froot Loop smell to them. You know, when you open a box of Froot Loops, that fragrance that comes out, that's what it smells like. And then you add a little bit of floral behind that fragrance, and that's what it smells like. I'm trying to give you the closest to what it smells like, since you can't really smell it through film. Now this, as you guys know, I've been showing you guys this over and over and over again. And you know why? Because it's a long-lasting bloom. This is also a Phalaenopsis Doridus. They've changed the name. I keep saying Pulcherima. It's Doridus, Pulcherima. Let me see here. Okay, this is the old name. Let me see. Oh, the struggle is real with these phones. This was the old name, Doridus Pulcherima Red. They got reclassified as Phalaenopsis Pulcherimas. So this is a Phalaenopsis Pulcherima Red. And they are not fragrant, but boy, are they adorable, and do they last a long, long, long time. And again, they start dying off from the back, but they continue shooting in the front. So if you look at this, this has had flowers, and they die off, and it just keeps going and going and going. It never ends. And I put it on one of the orchid supply store mounts, and she's a queen there. And speaking of queen, my queen of the night is about to burst in flowers tonight. They've been doing really well. I just haven't been staying up late because I've been working very hard. But look, this just bloomed. I wanted to capture this, but they bloomed last night, and I was just too tired, guys. I'm sorry. I have filmed them before. And my queen, my green flash, I always show her. She won this beautiful ribbon last weekend at the International Orchid Festival, the Redland International Orchid Festival. And she is looking very happy and very proud on her throne. And I love her so much. She's always giving me flowers. She knows how to keep me happy. And they're not fragrant, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, unique looking dendrobium. And there she is, guys, on her throne with her ribbon, looking so regal. All right, let's turn around here. Check out my Oncidian Sweet Baby, I think they call these. She is just a shower of blooms, and the fragrance of chocolate is in the air. It smells so sweet right here in this spot. And once I put her in this pot, and down on the ground. It seems like she really liked it. She's giving me 4 beautiful spikes. I got these, that one, and a new one coming out here in the back. And just look at this flower, how pretty it is. When you look at it up this close, you really can see the beauty in it. I love these cherry babies. They always bring so much amazing fragrance in your environment. Now this one is very long. I call it my popcorn oncidium. It has Tolumnia and oncidium mixed in together. And these are 2 plants in one. She did suffer a little bit. I'm going to show you now. She suffered a little bit. You see some yellow leaves because we had so much rain from the hurricane. Some of the leaves started yellowing, and that happens when there's too much rain and it gets too much water. And even though I do have this in lava rock, you can see, by the way, oncidiums love lava rock. I've come to learn that. They love to be mounted on wood or in lava rock if you're going to keep them in medium. And this is the flower. The flower starts off yellow, very yellow as a matter of fact, and it transitions to this beautiful popcorn tone. And it has that signature oncidium shape. And that's why I call her my popcorn oncidium. It's not a correct name, but it's my personal term for her. And she is like bursting as well. Look at this. There's more here. Oh, come here, mama. She loves to be, and when I planted her on this thimble pot from the Orchid Den, she really responded well to this. And it still has some more spikes in the back. Beautiful girl. Now, let me just turn right here for a second. This is my bat plant, my white bat flower plant. And unbeknownst to me, this is fall, okay? We're in October, entering November. I didn't know that she could bloom. She gave me 2 pods right there, one there and one up there. I never seen her bloom in the fall. It's always in spring and summer, but I guess she's happy there. So I can't wait for her to bloom again, and I can share her with you. There were several vendors that were that had these plants. Now, it's pretty interesting. When something's really hard to find, as soon as there's supply and demand, somehow, some way, they show up. And in this international festival, there were several vendors. There was Smiley from Smiley Orchids, and there was C from Sierra Madre. They both were selling the white bat flower plant at their booth. So if you guys are interested to get one of those, because they really are not easy to find, give them a call. I'm sure they have plenty. When I last looked, he had a bunch of them, and he sells out. Once I announce it here on my channel, he always tells me that he sells out. People call. And so I'm just letting you know, don't hesitate. Because if you hesitate, you will miss out on owning one of those beautiful, beautiful plants. It's actually, she's my queen of the plant world here, and this is my queen of the orchid world here. So they're side by side. And of course, introducing the new king, which is my Paphiopedilum phalaenopsis. So that's why we have a king here and 2 queens. We're breaking the rules. But anyway, I digressed. This is one of the very first lily pad dish that I got from the Orchid Den, from Josh. And I put this mini Cattleya that was never doing a thing for me. Like I said, Cattleyas, for me, they tend to be a little bit hit or miss. But I've learned now that less is more. You don't need to give them so much medium. You don't need to put them in anything that's heavy for moisture. They really like a lot of drainage. And so I put her on this little lily pad dish. And I just added some clay beads and charcoal. And she blew up in size and gave me my very first flower. Now, I don't know the name of this flower. I did see it in the show. I should have taken a picture of the tag. But if you guys can name this flower, I would love to just keep her tagged, because now I know that she has a beautiful, beautiful red little flower. Let me see what the... No, there is no fragrance. At least I don't smell any right now. But it has a beautiful tone of red with that yellow in the lip, and then transitioning to that beautiful fuchsia color. Very, very nice and unique flower. And I'm so happy that she's doing well there, because one never wants her plants to suffer. You know, it kind of, it's a Debbie Downer when you see your plants going downhill and you try everything and nothing works. And that's one of those that I just don't, you know, the Cattleyas I don't want to lose. Oh, it smells so good in here, guys. It smells like sweet floral. Now, let's go to my quick tent, because I know I have some things there I can show you. This is my quick tent that I got recently directly from Quick Tent. They gifted me this. This is a company name. And I must tell you, it is a wonderful, wonderful tent. And my Paphiopedilums and Phalaenopsis seem to love it. Now, look who decided to give me another flower. My Psychopsis. And I'm glad that I got her now, because she's freshly opening. Usually, and I got to be careful with Morris because he loves to rub against it, and yesterday he knocked it down. I thought I wasn't going to be able to show you. See, there he goes. I don't know what it is about this plant. He just loves it. Morris, you need to stop. I need to film this. And this flower, it's a what they call a sequential flower. And once it falls off, you don't want to cut this ever. You don't want to cut that shoot. That spike. You don't want to cut it, because it will shoot another flower over and over and over again until that spike loses all the energy, and then it dies off. And there's Patrick and Morris having a confrontation. I don't know what's up with Morris. He's having a bad day today. And that is the leaf of this. It reminds me a lot of the Phalaenopsis. I'm surprised it's never been classified as a Phalaenopsis, but I'm sure there's logical reasons why. But it is a beautiful flower. I've seen these with several spikes, and that's a show to see. When they're all spiking and you have several flowers, they look like little aliens. And the Doridus, I'm mixing all these names. The Doris Duke's Paphiopedilum that I showed you in yellow, this is the same one but in red. And I did get this over at Krull-Smith. I bought this a year and a half ago at the Fairchild Gardens when I was filming my very first episode. So she's been with me for a while, and I got her. She wasn't this size, of course. She was a little smaller. And this time around, she shot a lot. She had a lot more flowers. There's more there in the back. But she was, look at all this. All this was flowers here. And I don't know if it's the inside of this tent that encouraged all this growth, but she's really, really happy in here. And now I have the yellow and the red. So I have to bring the yellow over here. I only have it over there because I was doing the haul, and I wanted to keep everything like next to each other. But the other one will be coming right here. I will have to find another place for my Myakka rufescens, which this flower, guys, it is the most delicious fragrance you will ever set your nose on. It has a sugar cookie fragrance that is so pungent when you put it up to your nose that you literally want to turn around and just bite the petals off and eat it. It's very, very sweet. I'm still amazed of how orchids release such a sweet fragrance. And the color is cranberry and yellow. I love that tone. And I had put her in here because where I had her, she started getting dry leaves. So I don't know if it was too much water or too much light. I really don't know what was causing that. So I brought her in here, and I'm not watering as much to see if that will help it out. I really don't want to lose this because it's one of my favorite orchids from Ecuagenera. I got that one in Ecuagenera. And then my Phalaenopsis I still have the gift that keeps on giving, which is Laz's gift to me on my birthday in April. And I guess this Phalaenopsis thinks is a sequential because it has not stopped blooming since April. It keeps giving me one bloom after another bloom. They call this, the common name is Florida Rainbow. Florida Rainbow? Yeah, Florida Rainbow. And it's very pretty, the tones. And then this other Phalaenopsis, which is massive. Look at the size of these leaves. And it's big. I got this at a Heavenly Garden. And I don't have a tag for this, but it has a beautiful flower. It's like that creamy white with a little bit of blush on the petals of pink, and then that mustardy color in the center. It's absolutely gorgeous and so sophisticated. I never get tired of moth orchids. Some people are so jaded because, you know, I get it. We've been collecting for years, and most people that start collecting orchids, they start with these. And so it's like riding a bike with training wheels, and then you graduate to riding a motorcycle, and then you tell that person, hey, here, ride this bike with training wheels. You're like, nah, been there, done that. So I get it, but I still love them, and that's why I've given them their own section. And they're doing wonderful, and it's Morris approved. And I do have a fan in here because it circulates some of the ventilation, and it keeps everything healthy. All right, guys, I think that is it. I think we are done with what's in bloom, and it looks like it's gonna pour. So let's wrap this puppy up. I'm sure I forgot something here or there, but it's okay. We'll leave it for the next what's in bloom. All right, that is it. We're done with what's in bloom. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to show you. It's a season that's going to be bursting with flowers. There's a lot of spikes coming out. I have to look into my Vandas back here because I've been seeing some spikes, and I take them in the green room as soon as I see them to protect them, so I can then bring you some more beautiful blooms. Which, by the way, I don't want to forget. I met probably one of my youngest viewers. Her name is Valentina. And Valentina, she was there with her grandmother and her mother. They were actually at the show tent, and they were congratulating me. And she came up to say hello, and she is, first of all, she's a beautiful princess. She is gorgeous little girl and so sweet, and it makes me so happy when I see a young child so interested in orchids, and it makes me even happier when I see parents taking the time to take them there and take them away from the iPad and the computer, which it exposes them out into the real world and into nature, and appreciate flowers and plants and learn how they function at a very young age. That's the way I started. I started very, very young, and I had mentors that took me to Fairchild, that took me to different places, and it just encouraged that creativeness that I had in growing plants. So Valentina, thank you so much for watching my channel. I love you very much for that, and I love your family for taking you out and showing you such wonderful beauty like nature. I do not want to forget that. I am sweating so much. I'm sorry. It's always like this here in Miami. I don't mean to look like I just ran a marathon, but it's humid here. All right, that's it. We're done. Until next time, I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Now. And remember to always, always keep it green. See you next time.